A business needs a plan to help explain to others, and in some cases even yourself, where you're going and why. It's there to show either banks or investors that you've thought through your idea and its future. So where do we start? Well, here on The Business, we've categorised the plan into chapters to try and make each step easy for you to understand. There's also a handy, easy to follow checklist for you to print off, as well to help you in building your plan. Okay, well, let's start at the beginning with our executive summary. This really outlines the whole business proposal and is where any banks or potential investors make their provisional judgments. So, what should be included? Well, it should include 1. Your products or services. Explain what you're hoping to deliver and what advantages you think you have over your competitors. 2. The opportunity. What have you seen in the market that gives your company the opening that it needs? 3. Your management team. This should include typical CV information, not just about you, but if needed, your business partner or full management team. 4. Your track record to date. Tell them what you've attained thus far in respect of your own business life. Once again, it helps if you can include all members of your team. And as you will see in other business videos, investors or banks rarely invest in anyone that hasn't a good background and track record in their chosen proposal. Financial projections. These should be honest, truthful and realistic. Don't try to sell the dream of instant success, because in reality, it rarely happens, and others want to know that you've allowed for the bad as well as the good. 6. Funding requirements. Let's indicate the expected returns and again be honest and truthful. Make sure that you have allowed for worst case scenarios, as this will be what any bank or potential investor will be looking for, and they will appreciate your honesty. Without doubt, any financial projections should be worked through with the accountant of your choice, just to make sure that they make sense and you haven't missed anything. In our next part, we look in depth at the business as a whole. This should include the length of time you've been developing our business idea, including any market research. We may have indeed carried out work to date, and how did it go? Did we make profit? Were the goods or services well received? And more importantly, were we paid in full and on time? If you have any examples, then include them. What is the proposed ownership structure of the business? Will it be a limited company, a partnership or sole trader? And why have we come to this decision? What advantages do we think we will have over our competitors? What are our strengths and benefits? Why should the customer want to buy from us? Is it our personality, our pricing structure, or our service levels? And how can the company be developed over time to take advantage of any future changing needs? These are all points that our investors will be looking to be answered, and ones that even you should be asking yourself. And so on to markets and competitors. Firstly, let's look at our market. How big is it, and is it growing or declining? Let's illustrate the important market trends and the reasons for them. What are our key characteristics of our buyers within our segment, and how well are our products or services received? For example, we want to open a shop selling cupcakes. The UK market is researched at being worth approximately £25 million a year, and the market is on an uphill trend due to television exposure on various cookery shows. Our target customer is predominantly between the ages of 16 to 40. We know this because we have tried selling our products at a local market, where our cupcakes were very well received and sold to mainly people within this age bracket. Competitors. Next, let's look at our competitors. It's always good to list their advantages and disadvantages. Do they sell competitively, or have they got a fantastic product range? Explain why people will buy from you and desert your competitors. Show also that you understand your competitors' reaction to losing the business. Will they slash prices? And if so, how will you keep these newfound customers? For example, we're looking to launch a new pair of revolutionary scissors that never need sharpening. Our competitors have scissors and they are very good and cheaper, but ours have the benefit of never needing to be sharpened. So in the long term, they'll be cheaper. The design cannot be patented, so our competitors will look to copy our product as soon as possible. We realise this, but know it will take them at least 12 months, so we need to build brand loyalty as soon as possible. To this end, we will offer a free fantastic gift to the lucky person that emails us their best use of our new and exciting scissors. By doing this, we've obtained our end customer's email address and can now try to build on that contact. Remember, unless you know your market and how to beat your competitors, you will always be vulnerable. You need to show here that you know your market, the good and the bad. Sales and marketing. In this part, we need to show firstly how we've positioned our product or service. How is it priced against our competitors? How does our quality compare? And how are we going to give any after-sales service? How are we going to sell our product or service? Let's show how long our orders will take to win and think about this very carefully, because underestimating the time it takes to bring the orders in is one of the most common mistakes with a business plan. Bear in mind that many businesses take over 50% of their time getting orders in their first year alone. Can we make repeat orders? If not, it's going to make it harder and longer to build volume. Who will be our first customers? And how are we identifying them? If we haven't got a clear and defined group of potential customers, it's going to be a real struggle. How are we going to promote our products or services? Is it by advertising, direct mail, email, website? There are many ways of introducing our products to the market and an even bigger array of companies wanting to take our money for doing it. So show in your plan that you have thought about it and, more importantly, their associated costs. Show also in our plan how we may start with just one idea but are aware that we can create even more bottom line profits by squeezing all we can from our hard-earned customer. For example, we may start by just selling a great range of office chairs. We work hard over time to build customer loyalty. Now, this loyalty can be used to easily introduce a new range of, say, desks with a far easier route to market than the chairs ever had. Management potential. Investors who are reading your plan will need to know that you have a management process in place to take care of the business. So let's show them we've thought through each management role, who will fill it and that person's experience. Show them how you or your team will cope with any weaknesses that we may foresee in the future. Also, at this point, we need to show how committed we are. How much time and money have we invested? How much your management team may have invested? And what impacts their salaries have versus their benefits? Because it may be that if things don't go quite to plan, we may have to make redundancies. So let's show the investors that we're not afraid of making tough decisions to ensure the survival of our business. Tricky questions, I know, but ones that not only investors need to know, but ones that you need to know as well. Operations. At this point, we need to explain what facilities we need to operate our business. What are the pros and cons of our location? Will we need any equipment or machinery? Some businesses only need a desk and a phone, but some, they need production facilities and storage. So let's show that we've thought this through, not just for the short term, but the mid to long as well. Have we truly assessed our suppliers? Are they financially secure? Are they willing to hold stock for us? How quick can they deliver? And most importantly, have we an alternative? Because if not, we could be heading for a lot of trouble. Single sourcing a supplier is never really a good idea unless you have to. Financial forecasts. I would always suggest obtaining the service of a good chartered accountant for this work. Unless you're really confident of doing it yourself, it's really best left to the professionals. However, information they will need will probably consist of a realistic sales forecast by month, a cash flow analysis, when will we be paid and when do we have to pay, for example, wages, profit and loss, and perhaps if you're looking to start a larger business, projected balance sheets. I'm not going to labour on this part for long, as I really do think you're best seeking the assistance of a professional for this type of work. Sales forecasts. These are often wildly over-optimistic, so let's just take a moment to go through some important points to help you keep it real. How soon can you start selling? Sometimes a promise from a customer takes a lot longer than you might think. How often will you be able to sell? 1 day? 3 days? How long on average, not best case scenario, will each lead take to line up? And what percentage of leads will turn to orders? How much can you sell? What's the average price? And how much of it will be repeat orders? How long is it going to take us to get paid? And what have we allowed for? I know it's easy to get swept up in the dream of instant success, but in reality, as I've said, this rarely happens. So when writing your plan, be honest with yourself and always look at the downsides first. And put any protection there for not only you, but your family. Good luck in writing your business plan.